Don't get involved.
In today's video, Marvel presents their new woke heroes.
Snowflake and SAFESPACE are the twins, and their names are very similar to screen time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet.
Hillary Clinton versus the popular vote.
Why, Hillary, how are you today?
Stay tuned.
I think they definitely do need me. I'm on my way.
My name is Daniel Kibble, and I am the writer of New Warriors #1.
But what other brilliant works has Daniel Kibble authored? Well, he wrote Santa's Husband. Offering a fresh twist on Kris Kringle, a clever yet heartfelt book that tells the story of a black Santa, his white husband, and their life in the North Pole. Everyone knows that Santa Claus is jolly, but in Santa's Husband, this cherished symbol of the holiday season is also black and gay, and married to an equally cheery man. In this witty and sweet illustrated Christmas tale, humour writer Daniel Kibble introduces us to Mr. and Mr. Claus, and gives us a glimpse of their lives together. We see the Clauses sitting by the fire at their cosy North Pole home, vacationing at the beach, having an occasional disagreement, celebrating their wedding day, and comforting each other when some loudmouth people on television angrily dispute Santa's appearance and lifestyle. God give me strength.
I got interested in the New Warriors later. I remember seeing them on the shelf when I was a kid, picking up comics in the 90s and just feeling like
they weren't woke enough, and I just absolutely had to become a writer and ruin the fuck out of them.
New Warriors, I thought, were really interesting characters because they occupy this really cool space. They're forever young, but they've now been around for 30 years. So because the New Warriors are the authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring new Warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the Outlawed event.
But who are Marvel's new heroes? Well, Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them, and has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. New Warriors writer Daniel Kibble told Marvel.com. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile, and this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. Snowflake's twin, SAFESPACE, is also one of the newest New Warriors. Snowflake is the person who has the more offensive power, and SAFESPACE is the person who has the more defensive power. The idea is that they would mirror each other and complement each other, he added. Snowflake and SAFESPACE are the twins, the writer said, and their names are very similar to screen time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory. They take those words and kind of wear them as a badge of honour. Speaking of screen time, his powers involve being connected to the internet after being exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas. The word screen time is only ever used in a sort of restrictive sense, and because we're doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them. So with screen time, we like the idea that he has infinite screen time, Kibble said. B negative is the goth kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume, from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers, Kibble revealed. B negative ages like a regular person, or does he? And he definitely drinks blood, or does he? But designer artist Luciano Vecchio took brilliant inspiration from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon and gave B negative the leech suckers that the animated version of Morbius had on his palms. Last but certainly not least is Trailblazer. Who has a magic backpack that opens to a pocket dimension of infinite space. Trailblazer can pull out any object or weapon out of the backpack, though she has no control over what may come out. She's a group home and foster kid who is volunteering at a senior centre when this mysterious threat shows up, and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue, he said. And because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of this new outlawed law.
The artist on New Warriors #1 is Luciano Vecchio. He designed all of the new Warriors and gave them costumes that felt as modern as the New Warriors costumes to sort of feel classic and instantly familiar.
Well, Luciano Vecchio describes himself via his Twitter bio as queer and mostly he, him. You know, on the off day, he, him, but every other day he's she, her. Maybe on weekends, he's him. I don't know. He also decided to share with his Twitter followers a short comic segment that he created called Assemble. Let's read through it. So why did you come up with all of this? It was Teddy's idea. We come every year as civilians, but we felt like it was time to do more. You know, great power, great responsibility. I mean, we had it easier than most. We had the most loving of families, and we had each other. But it didn't start with us. We owe everything to the real heroes that came before and made this possible. So we spread the word and everyone was thrilled to join. Together we make a statement. To those who'd rather see us go away. To those who'll learn from seeing us. And to those of us who need to find their family. We're here. Aww. He then proceeded to explain some of the strips to really help us understand the meaning behind the artistry. I chose to open with a close-up on Stryker from Avengers Academy, a self-centered white cis gay, the end of the LGBT plus spectrum, most prone to be apolitical and unaware of their privilege and context of our collective. Together we make a statement. North Star, the first Marvel hero to come out. Julie Powers, who we've seen grow up from childhood to out and proud coy boy representing for trans masculinity. Anal? And bling signifying queer identity overlaps and trumps mutant identity. I ask this kindly, is there really any need for any of this? Honestly.
So the first character that we're introduced to is Trailblazer. She's a group home and foster kid. We picked the name Trailblazer because she's somebody who charges into action. She knows that she can do some good with this, mysterious gift that she's been given.
I don't mean to cause offence, but given her curvaceous silhouette, I doubt she'll be charging anywhere. Perhaps to McDonald's.
Screen Time is an internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas. Snowflake and SAFESPACE are the twins, and their names are very similar to Screen Time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet. E Negative is the goth kid. I want the people who read our New Warriors to feel all of the excitement that they felt if they read the 90s one.
Well, given all the backlash you've received on your YouTube video and all the other online articles, I doubt that anyone's getting excited over this, honestly.
We want it to have big, colorful characters, personality clashes, romance, a diverse cast, which is something that the New Warriors titles have always strived to make a priority. Every New Warriors comic has always felt like a reflection of the year that it came out. And I don't think we're worried about being dated. I think we're way more interested about it being now.
No, I don't think it's dated at all. I think it is very current. I mean, you have a non-binary person. If anything, I think these new heroes reflect the new woke society we live in, which I'm thankful for. I mean, the only way this could actually get any better is if you hated Trump. I mean, that would just be the cherry on the cake. Oh, wait. I can't believe the man with the hardest job in the world who also didn't want the job is also doing a shitty job.
Why, Hillary, how are you today?
Thanks to you, we've reached a milestone. The first time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Now This is your premier news outlet, providing you with all the videos you need to stay up to date on all the latest in trending news. From entertainment to politics to viral videos and breaking news stories, we're delivering all you need to know straight to your social feeds. Joy. Joy. But this particular video points out to us that Hillary Clinton did indeed win the popular vote. Even if the Electoral College nowadays seems rather outdated, you only have to look at a side-by-side map to really understand why we still have this Electoral College in place during the presidential elections in the US. So yes, Hillary did win the popular vote. Hurrah! But if anything, this map shows us that it's the really big populated areas that voted Democrat and voted for Hillary Clinton, while the rest of the country, say the entire middle section of the country, mainly voted Republican. So the Electoral College is essentially there to stop all these young voters in the big cities basically electing a president that the most part of the country doesn't really want in office.
I want to thank all the people across our country who have taken the time to talk with me. I've learned a lot about you, and I've learned about those persistent problems and the unfinished promise of America that you are living with.
The city of Atlanta said pregnant women and people 55 and older should not be drinking this water.
So many of you feel like you're out there on your own, that no one has your back. Well, I do.
Must not make suicide joke.
I hear you. I see you.
But please don't send me emails, I cannot access them at the moment.
I feel really, really strongly that you're being very brave. Let me do the worrying. I'll do all the worrying. Is that a deal?
We all believe that America succeeds when more people share in our prosperity. When more people have a voice in our political system. We believe that cooperation is better than conflict, and bridges are better than walls.
Patriarchy.